In the 1950s, South Korea was one of the poorest countries in the world. Income per capita was even lower than in some African nations. There were no proper roads, electricity cuts were part of daily life, and people considered rice a luxury. Vietnam, on the other hand, had fertile lands, rivers that supported agriculture, and a young population that kept growing. From the outside, Vietnam looked like the country with a bright future. But what determined the fate of these two countries was not the resources they had, but the decisions they made after the war. After the war, South Korea realized one thing: we may not become rich, but we can become disciplined. So instead of building factories, the state started to transform people. A lesser-known detail is that in the 1960s, government officials were sent to villages in South Korea. These officials did not only teach farming, they taught people how to think. Saving, planning, and long-term thinking became mandatory in some villages. Work marches were even played loudly in the mornings. Villages that did not work were cut off from support. This practice pushed villages into psychological competition. In Vietnam, however, equality was considered sacred for many years. Creating differences between those who worked hard and those who did not was seen as ideologically problematic, so performance comparisons between villages were avoided. The South Korean government openly supported private companies, but set conditions. You will export. You will enter global markets. If you fail, you will collapse. What is interesting is that Samsung is a giant brand today, but in the 1970s, one of Samsung's failed ship engine projects was not rescued by the state. The company either had to recover or disappear. In Vietnam, the state continued to keep loss-making enterprises alive for a long time, which weakened the culture of competition. In South Korea, children were taught from an early age that you do not win as an individual, you win as a country. Therefore, individual success was measured by social benefit. In Vietnam, individual success was viewed with suspicion for a long time because there was an ideological fear of inequality. Another lesser-known detail is that in the 1970s, television broadcasts in South Korea were deliberately limited. Documentaries and educational content were prioritized over entertainment. In Vietnam, the state prioritized ideological broadcasts for a long time, while stories of production and technology remained in the background. In South Korea, on the day of the university entrance exam, even airplanes do not fly. Police patrol in front of exam halls. Silence is ensured because education is seen as a matter of national security. In Vietnam, education is important, but for a long time it was not directly connected to industry. South Korea trained engineers. Vietnam trained civil servants. South Korea changed the system when it made mistakes. Vietnam often tried to protect the system. Another interesting detail is that during military service in South Korea, young people were given technical skills, such as welding, engine repair, and electronics. In Vietnam, military service was built more on ideological and physical discipline. During the 1997 Asian crisis, South Korea used the money it received from the IMF not only to pay debts, but to discipline companies. Many large firms went bankrupt, but the system became stronger. Vietnam slowed down structural reforms during the same period to avoid disrupting stability. Today, South Korea is a country that exports technology, while Vietnam is still largely known for cheap labor. Both countries worked very hard, but one rewarded work through systems, while the other tried to equalize everything. And the essence of the story is very clear. The difference was not intelligence, not luck, not geography. It was the courage of the decisions made during times of crisis.
If you want more stories like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow for more. And if there are two countries you want to see compared next, write them in the comments. I will prepare the most requested ones in order.